You open the door and you smell it immediately. You can't quite name it. It's not dirty, it's not sharp, it's just there. And what makes it frustrating is you've already tried. You've opened windows, sprayed things, maybe done a whole cleaning day, and a week later it's back like you never touched anything. Today we're going room by room, pulling out 8 hidden sources that almost no one talks about because they're not obvious and they're not on the surface. Then I'm giving you 5 specific habits that address the real causes, not just the air on top of them. This is the Senior Reset, where we help seniors and the families caring for them live with more ease, more comfort, and genuinely better health at home. If that's why you're here, subscribe now and turn on the bell because what we have coming in the next few weeks is something you genuinely don't want to miss. All right, let's find these smells. Before we go room by room, I want to say something important. This smell is not a sign of laziness or not caring. In many cases, it's not even something the person living in the home can detect, and that is not a figure of speech. Research shows our sense of smell declines significantly as we age. By the time someone is in their 70s, they may have lost up to half their ability to detect odors. That means a smell that hits a visitor immediately is genuinely not registering to the person who lives there every single day. And physically, bending down to check under the sofa, getting behind the refrigerator, climbing a step stool to reach a top cabinet, none of those things are realistic the way they once were. So the places that need the most attention are exactly the places that go the longest without it. That is not failure. That is just life. Now let's find these smells. Smell 1, the mattress memory. This one surprises people every time. When you walk into a bedroom and there's a smell that's slightly warm, slightly sweet, almost like an old linen closet, 9 times out of 10, the mattress is the source. A mattress absorbs sweat, body oils, dead skin cells, and moisture from breathing during sleep every single night. All of that moves through the sheets and down into the mattress itself. And here's what makes it invisible. We wash the sheets, we change the pillowcases, we see a clean-made bed and assume the room is clean. But the mattress underneath has possibly never been deep cleaned in years. Some mattresses in elderly homes have been there for 15 or 20 years. The smell isn't sharp or obvious, it's soft, ambient. It fills the room like background noise, and you don't notice it until you walk in from outside. Then you can't unnotice it. Smell 2, the drain ghost. This one behaves like a ghost. It comes and goes, it's strongest at certain times of day, and every time you clean the bathroom, it comes back like you never touched anything. Inside every drain, there is a buildup called biofilm. It's a layer of organic matter, dead skin, hair, soap residue, food particles, all combining into a thin film, coating the inside walls of the drain pipe. Bacteria grow inside that film and produce gases. Those gases are what you're smelling, and they're most active when water runs through because the water disturbs the biofilm and pushes the odor upward into the room. This is why people scrub the entire bathroom and the smell is still there. They cleaned everything except the actual source. In elderly homes, this buildup tends to be worse simply because the drains are older and cleaning them specifically is rarely on anyone's list. Smell 3, the upholstered time capsule. The sofa and the armchair in most elderly living rooms have absorbed decades of life. Cooking smells that drifted in from the kitchen over the years, cigarette smoke if there was ever any in the home, because fabric holds on to smoke compounds and releases them slowly for years. Skin oils from the spots where hands and arms rest every single day, pet hair, dander, and humidity from every season. Unlike hard surfaces you can wipe down, fabric holds all of those things and layers them. When the room warms up or air moves through, all those layers get stirred and released at once. The armrests are almost always the worst area because that's where body contact is most concentrated. The smell is complex, warm, faintly food adjacent, faintly musty, and it just sits in the room making everything feel older than it actually is. Smell 4, the refrigerator drip tray. About half the people watching have never heard of this one, and the other half are going to check their refrigerator the moment this video ends. Almost every refrigerator has a drip tray, a shallow pan at the very bottom of the unit hidden behind a snap-off plastic panel near the floor. Its job is to collect moisture from the defrost cycle. Over time, it collects not just water, but food particles, dust, and organic debris. And in that warm, moist environment at the bottom of the fridge, mold and bacteria grow steadily and silently. The smell is sour, sometimes slightly metallic or fermented. The inside of the refrigerator can be perfectly clean, Shelves wiped, nothing expired, and the kitchen still smells off because the source is underneath the fridge in a tray most people have never once looked at. The first 4 smells we covered, most people have at least suspected at some point. They're hidden, but they're in spaces people know about. The next 4 are different. These are the ones that hide inside systems and structures that most people never think to check. And one of them is so consistently overlooked that I've had people tell me it was the single thing that changed everything after months of trying other fixes. Stay with me because this is where it gets genuinely useful. Smell 5, the washing machine seal. This one is specifically about front-loading washing machines. Front-load washers have a rubber gasket that runs around the inside of the door, and it folds slightly, creating a crevice that runs all the way around the door opening. In that crevice, water sits after every wash cycle. In a machine that's used regularly but never has that gasket wiped down and never has the door left open to dry, mold develops inside that fold within weeks. Not months, weeks. And here's why this smell is so hard to trace. The laundry smells fine when it's wet, fine when you're folding it, but then you put it on or put it on the bed, and as the fabric warms up, a musty, slightly sour smell develops that you can't explain because you just washed those clothes. The mold smell is transferring from the seal into every load, every sheet, every towel, every piece of clothing. People wonder why the bedroom smells off even though they change the sheets regularly. This is exactly why. Smell 6, the HVAC memory. This is the one that makes a smell feel like it's everywhere because it literally is everywhere. Your heating and cooling system moves air through every single room in the home. Whatever is living inside that system gets distributed to every corner every time it runs. In an older home, the ductwork accumulates years of dust, pet dander, and mold spores. The filter often goes far too long between changes. The standard 90-day guidance assumes ideal conditions, but in a home with a pet, in a humid climate, or in a house that's been closed up for long periods, 90 days is simply too long. The smell is dusty and stale, sometimes with a faint chemical edge. People open windows, which helps temporarily, but then the system kicks on, and within an hour, the air quality is right back to where it was. If the smell in a home seems to be everywhere and nowhere at once, no specific room, no specific corner, the HVAC system is almost always worth looking at first. Smell 7. The cabinet, graveyard kitchen, and bathroom cabinets, especially lower ones, are some of the most neglected spaces in any home. Things go in, things get pushed to the back, something spills and gets wiped from the top, but the residue seeps into the shelf liner underneath. Humidity settles in closed, dark spaces. Cleaning products under the sink can slowly off-gas. Old medications and expired products sit in bathroom cabinets in the dark and break down quietly over years. The smell these spaces develop is hard to pin down, somewhere between old wood, closed dampness, and something faintly chemical, or rancid. It's not aggressive, it doesn't hit you at the door, but it contributes to that baseline smell that fills the home, that indistinct background note you can't find because you're looking for one source, when really it's several places at once. Smell 8, the pet zone underlay. This last one is the most persistent smell on this list, and understanding why it happens is the only way to actually fix it. When a pet urinates on carpet, the liquid doesn't stay on the surface. It moves downward through the carpet fiber, through the backing, into the foam padding, and in significant accidents into the subfloor itself. The surface may look clean, and you may have cleaned it at the time, but the uric acid crystals that form as it dries have settled below the surface where no surface cleaning can reach. Those crystals are stable when dry. When humidity rises, when the heat runs, when someone steams the carpet, they reactivate and release ammonia. Suddenly, a room that smelled fine in the morning has a faint, sharp odor in the afternoon that nobody can explain. This is why people say we don't have a pet anymore, and we still smell it. The pet is gone, the smell source is not. Before we get into the habits, I want to take just a moment. If you're watching this because you're trying to help a parent or someone you love navigating this season of life, what you're doing right now matters more than you probably realize. Most people light a candle and move on. You're here looking for real answers. The Senior Reset exists for exactly this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now and share this with someone who needs it, because I can almost guarantee you know at least one person who does. All right, let's fix this. Here is what I want you to hold on to. The smells we just covered didn't appear overnight. They built up slowly over months and years in places nobody was tracking. That means one big cleaning day won't solve it permanently. The smell comes back because the conditions that created it are still there. What actually works is a system. Consistent, manageable habits that address the sources regularly enough that buildup never gets the chance to develop again. These 5 habits are designed to be realistic for seniors and for caregivers who are already managing a lot. None of them require getting on your knees for an hour. None require expensive equipment. Let's go through them. Habit 1. The monthly zone rotation. Once a month, you deep clean one zone of the home, not the whole home, just one zone. Divide the living space into 4. Bedroom, living room, kitchen, bathroom. Each month, one zone gets focused attention beyond the regular surface clean. The other 3 get normal maintenance only. That rotation means every zone gets real attention 3 times a year, which is enough to prevent serious buildup without being overwhelming. Bedroom month, vacuum the mattress surface, rotate or flip it if possible, pull the bed from the wall, and vacuum what has gathered there. Living room month, remove every cushion, vacuum underneath and in the crevices, vacuum the fabric surface of the sofa itself. Kitchen month, empty at least 2 cabinets completely, wipe every surface inside, only put back what is current and useful. Bathroom month, same under the sink, everything out, wipe everything down, check for moisture, replace the liner if there is one. If you're thinking this is a lot to manage for someone with limited mobility or someone you're helping from a distance, I hear that. No single session in this rotation requires getting on the floor or doing anything physically demanding. The mattress can be vacuumed standing up with a handheld. Cabinet emptying can happen in stages over several days within the same month. The goal is attention, not perfection. Doing 60% of this consistently beats doing 100% once and not touching it again for 2 years. That's not just encouragement, that's genuinely how buildup works. Habit 2. The weekly drain flush, 5 minutes a week, same day each time so it becomes automatic. Pour about a 1/4 cup of baking soda into every drain in the home, let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, then flush with very hot water. The baking soda is mildly abrasive and alkaline, and it disrupts the biofilm layer effectively on its own. Alternatively, use a small pour of undiluted white vinegar, let it sit 10 minutes, then flush with hot water. Both work well used separately. What you want to avoid is mixing them together in the drain at the same time because they neutralize each other chemically, and you lose most of the cleaning benefit from both. And I want to be honest here, if a drain has years of buildup, one flush is not going to clear it completely. The smell will reduce over the first few weeks, it will not vanish after the first treatment, and that is completely normal. What you're building is a maintenance rhythm, so it never gets severe again. For the refrigerator drip tray, do this monthly, snap off. The bottom front panel of the refrigerator, slide out the tray, rinse with hot water and dish soap, wipe it clean, slide it back. First time takes about 10 minutes. After that, 5 minutes at most. Habit 3, the laundry machine reset. 3 parts and they work together. First, every time you finish a load of laundry, leave the machine door fully open for at least 30 minutes. Mold cannot establish itself in a dry environment. Deny it the moisture and you stop the problem before it starts. Second, once a week, wipe the inside of the rubber door gasket with a damp cloth, folding it back slightly to clean inside the crease. 2 minutes. Third, once a month, run an empty hot cycle with 2 cups of white vinegar directly in the drum. No laundry, no detergent. This strips residue and mold from the drum and gasket. Follow it with a quick wipe and leave the door open for the rest of the day. Most people notice a real difference in how their laundry smells within 2 to 3 weeks of being consistent with this. It's a maintenance routine, not a one-time fix, and it works as long as you keep doing it. But when you're consistent, the machine stops being the invisible source spreading musty smell through every fabric in the home, and that matters more than people realize. Habit 4. The air system rule. 3 parts at different time scales. Daily, when weather allows, open at least 2 windows on opposite sides of the home for 10 minutes. Not all day, just 10 minutes. This creates real cross-ventilation rather than recirculating the same indoor air. Every 60 days, replace the HVAC filter. Not every 90 days as the packaging suggests. In a home with a pet or in a humid climate, check it at 45 days. A clogged filter reduces airflow, makes the system work harder, increases energy costs, and spreads stale air through every room. Seasonally, place small dishes of activated charcoal near vents, in closets, and under bathroom sinks. Activated charcoal actually absorbs odor molecules from the air rather than masking them. It's odorless, inexpensive, and works continuously with no effort. Replace it every 2 to 3 months. If the home has not had professional duct cleaning in more than 5 years, schedule it once. It is not a recurring task. It's a one-time reset that makes everything else in this section significantly more effective. Habit 5. The weekly smell walk. This is the habit that ties the whole system together, and it matters most in a home where the resident's own sense of smell has declined. Once a week, walk through every room slowly and deliberately. In each room, pause in the doorway before entering. Your nose adjusts to a room's ambient smell within about a minute of being inside it, so the doorway pause gives you a fresh read on what's actually in that space. Ask yourself, is there a smell here? If yes, where is it coming from? Is it low or high? Is it fabric or floor, a corner or the center of the room? This practice builds a completely different kind of awareness. Instead of reacting to smell problems once they've become serious, you start catching them early when they're still small and easy to address. For carpet areas smelling of ammonia, the only product that actually works is an enzyme-based cleaner. Steam cleaning, baking soda on the surface, and regular carpet cleaner do not break down uric acid crystals. Only enzyme-based products have the biological mechanism to eliminate the odor compound at the source. Apply it generously, allow it to penetrate into the padding if possible, and let it dry completely. For severe contamination that has reached the subfloor, a professional assessment may be necessary, and it's better to know that upfront than to spend months on surface treatments that cannot reach the actual source. The smell walk takes about 10 minutes. It is not a cleaning task, it's an awareness habit, and it's the part of the system that catches problems before they become the kind of deep layered buildup we've been talking about this entire video. Here's what I want to leave you with. The homes we've been talking about are not neglected. They are lived in fully and deeply over many years. The smells we found are just evidence of a life that kept going even when the cleaning couldn't always keep up. What these 5 habits do is give the home a chance to breathe again and give the person living in it a better daily experience than they probably even realize they are missing right now. That is what this channel is here for, not to make anyone feel behind or like they've done something wrong, just to help reset one practical thing at a time. If this helped you today, share it with one person who has been quietly dealing with this. That one share matters more than you'd think. And when you're ready for what's next, there is a video on this channel about the things seniors should clear out of their home that are making daily life harder without them even realizing it. Not a lecture about clutter. Real things, real reasons, real impact. It's right there when you're ready. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.